32-year-old Allie Bardfield pleads not guilty today. Now, she's the former long-term Decatur Public Schools substitute teacher accused of having sex with her 11-year-old student.
Meet Allie Bardfield. She is a married school teacher in Mount Zion, Illinois, and she is being charged for grooming an 11-year-old boy. She has exchanged nude photos with him, brought him into her house and into her bed, and it does not end there. Let's get into it.
Equality over everything.
Allie Bardfield was a long-time 6th grade substitute teacher at Decatur Public Schools District in Mount Zion, and her victim was one of her students. The child spent the night at Bardfield's home. He stayed there with her for 25 hours from March 29th to March 30th. This seems to have been a planned sleepover, as Allie is a mother who has 4 children herself. After the boy returned home, his mother noticed him acting differently after spending the night at the teacher's home. The mother then decided to check her son's phone and found texts between him and Bardfield and photos of them, including one of them flipping off the camera. She was then horrified by what she saw next. On his phone, she found Cash App payments and social media messages between him and Bardfield. The teacher had sent the student about $700 over several months. The mother confronted her child about the situation, and the child disclosed that his teacher took him to her bed and went all the way with him. The act was done unprotected, without a condom. This is when the case was initially reported to police. Now, many of you might be saying, well, why was the child staying overnight at Allie Bardfield's house in the first place, and to do so for 25 hours? Let's bear in mind, it's easy to question that with the hindsight of knowing what happened. With the money transfers and the essay abuse, everything. However, Allie has 4 kids of her own, so this could have looked like just a normal sleepover, and the parents might have granted some trust to Allie because of this, and so one might presume that their child is in good hands. It's worth affording the parents some compassion and empathizing with them, and it was great that the mom followed up after she noticed the boy acting strangely. She could have easily brushed it off, but instead she decided to take his phone and go through it. This was a smart decision, and good for the boy for having the courage to admit what had happened. The teacher likely would have given him instructions on not revealing the illicit relationship, so it would have been difficult for him to admit what happened. Shortly after the police were informed, they did an interview with the child. The boy admitted that he was SA'd by his teacher, that he and Bardfield had exchanged nude photos on Snapchat, and that she had performed oral on him. After the interview, police planned a sting operation with the child and his mother in order to get Bardfield to incriminate herself in text messages and recorded calls with him. As instructed by police, the boy sent her a message telling her he was going out of town, but hoped to see her again when he came back. "I love you and I miss you, Allie. When I come back, I'll see if I can come over," he wrote. Allie replied, "You're always welcome. I love and miss you too." Bardfield advised the child to delete the messages and asked to talk to him on the phone. Soon after, police obtained a court order for a wiretap. The child and the teacher talked through phone call and FaceTime, with officers listening via court-authorized eavesdropping. During the recorded phone call, she told the child he could come over to her house that weekend and they could, quote, "do it again." Then she told him her tubes are tied and that she cannot get pregnant. Before ending the conversation, she said she missed the boy a whole lot. Bardfield was arrested at her home that same day. She admitted to having unprotected penetration with the child and exchanging nude photos with him. But she said that it was the boy who had made sexual advances on her. However, the evidence of the phone recordings and texts seemed to show a different story. And of course, the victim is just an 11-year-old child. She also said that she only paid the boy when he asked her for money. These kinds of claims, particularly that the boy was the one who made advances on her, is quite common to hear from female predators trying to take accountability away from themselves. Obviously, she is the adult and the child cannot consent. Bardfield was initially being charged with grooming and predatory criminal SA of a child under 13, which is a Class X felony offense which carries a minimum of 6 years in prison and a max of 60 years. When facing Macon County Circuit Court, she only spoke to confirm she understood that she could face this kind of prison time if she is convicted. The teacher would also have to register as a predatory offender for life. She did not apply for bail. The grooming charge was later dropped, and the Macon County State's Attorney explains why.
Grooming charge is a much less serious criminal offense. I felt that we had a very strong case with respect to the more serious charge, so I didn't want to get distracted basically on that when we've got the most serious charge filed.
Bardfield is a wife and mother of 4. Her husband, a construction worker, has filed for divorce with an emergency junction to have the kids stay with him and removed from her so that they have no contact with her. Professionals will be speaking with her kids, as in cases like this, it is common for these kinds of crimes to occur at home with their own kids prior to occurring to other children. Bardfield has been fired from Decatur Public Schools, however. This case does not end there. The parents of the victim have filed a lawsuit against the school district alleging that the Board of Education violated Erin's law, which requires school employees to be trained in preventing SA. Allegedly, Bardfield had not been trained after being hired in 2023. The lawsuit reads, defendant Bardfield never completed any training prior to and subsequent to her hiring at Hope Academy, including training on adult sexual misconduct, ethics on sexual misconduct, recognizing and reporting child abuse, and Title IX training. The lawsuit details the encounters the victim had with Bardfield and mentions that she hosted multiple playdates at her house in 2023. One time, the 11-year-old showed up and he was the only child there besides Bardfield's own children. It also says that she went through the boy's phone and deleted messages between them. So, what do you think? Is she going to have a fair sentencing, or is she going to get off easy, as we often see in these types of cases? And what do you think will happen with the lawsuit against the school board? If you share our mission for true equality, like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.
Equality over everything.